Any general tips of some of the do's and don'ts, like for someone who's going to now lead a multicultural team?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's something which very much interests me, because I think that's a particular skill, and I also had that privilege to have a multicultural team. And I realized when I had my team, it was a question of taking a bit of time to recognize the cultures of the team, so where people were coming from. Of course, some of it's individual personality, but some of it's influenced by culture, and saying, well, what are the strengths of these people? So I remember quite well when I was trying to get my international team to produce a presentation, and they were going to have to present at the employee meeting with several hundred people, and where they had to present our strategy for our department to everybody else, and quite a critical audience and so forth. And I remember the first meeting, I thought this could be chaotic. Everybody's talking at cross purposes. Some people were not saying anything at all, and I thought this maybe as well just do it myself. And but then I realized, I thought, no, I don't want to do it myself, and I shouldn't do it myself. And I'm supposed to be an interculturalist, so I should be able to handle this. So I realized that actually one of the German colleagues, she was very good at. She was more sort of quiet person. She was very good at doing the research. So I got her doing, finding the documents and doing the sort of back office stuff. And there was somebody else, an American guy, actually. He was very good at presenting. Everybody found him very powerful. He was excellent with an international audience, but he wasn't sort of a details person. He just was very vague when he talked. So I thought, okay, he's going to be our presenter. And then I thought, well, what's my role? And there was other people, of course. And I thought, well, my role, I don't want to, my role maybe is just to coordinate this, to be in the background, although I was the leader of the team. There's a very interesting list, I think, which comes from another book, which has been around for a long time, a guy called Terence Brake. Terence Brake wrote a book called Where in the World is My Team? And he calls them the 6 C's of global virtual collaboration, or running like a multicultural team, particularly in a virtual setting, which many people are doing. Many of you are doing, as people are listening to this. I'm sure you're working in virtual teams. And so the 6 C's the first one is cooperation, which is basically building trust with people. And people, trust is based on different things in different places. You have to know how to build trust. Is trust coming from people seeing you as competent as a manager or leader, or is it based on charisma or whatever? So you need to, anyway, but you need this trust. You need what he calls convergence. This means you need to make it clear what the common goal is. And I found that actually even very disparate teams, if they've got a very clear goal, they will get there. We wanted to do training at one time for Bayern Munich for the football team, because we said they must need intercultural training. They've got so many players from all over the world, but they don't actually, because they're so focused on winning the match and they're so focused on their football, they don't actually maybe necessarily need that, although they probably get there. So having a clear purpose, as convergence. Next one is coordination. That's really making sure everybody's working in the same way, using the same tools and processes. Capability, using those skills that like I mentioned in my team, so recognizing what's in those people. Finding a way of communicating, so that's the 5th C. Deciding how you're going to communicate, because people will have different preferences. Some people might prefer an email, some people prefer a call, some people prefer a text message, some people prefer some shared site where you've got all the documents or whatever. So you need to really work out how you're going to do that and agree on it. It will be different for every team. There's no unique, every team is unique, and there will be no universal way of doing this. And the other one is really to try to identify the cultural preferences and use them for an advantage, because basically we know that multicultural teams, if they're well managed and well constituted, they're likely to be more innovative and more closer to customers, and actually financially more successful than monocultural teams. If they're not well led, by the way, then they lose value, and you just spend a lot of time talking at cross purposes and not getting anything done. But if you want to be innovative, which is so important these days, particularly in many areas, then you really need different perspectives, and you need someone, and that's the exciting role, I think, of the leader, who's able to bring this together and coordinate that.